Hello lovely people, welcome to the Geek Cupboard, I'm Penge, and welcome to day 18 of the Geek Cupboard's Fes-tea-ve Advent Countdown 2021, which means that we are 3 weeks in, and that also means that there is only 1 week to go. 1 week until the big man himself, Father Christmas, not Bernard Cupboard, 1 week until Father Christmas delivers those Christmas presents, which is all very exciting indeed. However, right now, we need to find little tea pocket number 18. Now, it's not on the kind of first panel there. Is it on this panel here? No, it is not. I don't think it's on the third one, because that's 22 on its own, so it must be on the final one. There it is, right, it's right down in the corner. Okay, right, this could be interesting. This is going to be certainly a clash of flavours right here, because what we have in store for us today is licorice and cinnamon, a deliciously exotic blend of cocoa, cinnamon, and licorice. Okay, now this is going to be very intriguing because, as we've established, I'm not really the biggest fan of licorice. I don't really like licorice, but I really, really, really do like cinnamon. So we have ourselves a tea here comprising of two ends of the things that I like scale. So licorice, nah, not really so much. Cinnamon, yes, absolutely, yes, please. So how are these going to go when combined together? I have no idea. It's either going to be completely glorious or utterly, absolutely disastrous. But you know what? Let's find out, shall we? And to help us do that, we need to go to the kettle. And here we are with our freshly brewed cup of licorice and cinnamon tea. Now you'll notice that I didn't say here we are with our lovely freshly brewed cup of licorice and cinnamon tea, and that's because I'm not entirely sure this is going to be that lovely at all. I'm hoping it is. I am hoping that these two flavours, licorice and cinnamon, combine together to produce something absolutely amazing. But I'm reserving my judgment. I'll declare it lovely if it's really nice. But to look at it, it is very obviously a black tea. It's really, really dark, that is. I can't even see the bottom of the mug. So, in comparison to the teas that we've had previously, this is quite a sort of a step change because we've had kind of two relatively calm teas, I think. We've had, what was it called? Relax. We had relaxed tea and then the chamomile and vanilla one recently. So they've been quite sort of calm and, sort of subtle flavours, nice smooth flavours. This here looks very strong and very bold indeed. But okay, so it's very obviously a black tea. To smell this, I can smell cinnamon. The cinnamon smell is not that strong. Maybe there is a hint of the licorice in there, possibly, that I can smell, but it's not that strong. But here we go. Let's have a taste of this. Fingers crossed, everybody. Fingers crossed that this is going to be really delicious. Right, here we go. Okay. Right, so some complex flavours going on there, I'll be honest. Okay, so I can taste... I can taste licorice. That's kind of got that sweetness to it, like the other one we had with licorice in. So that's got kind of a bit of a burst of sweetness to it. There is definitely, on the little sort of packet thing, I've got it over there, it does say cocoa. So it's got a deliciously exotic blend of cocoa, cinnamon and licorice. I can definitely taste the cocoa. The cocoa is in there. I can taste that quite easily. And there is a bit of cinnamon. There's a bit of cinnamon. It's not strong, the cinnamon. The cinnamon is kind of, like a sort of an additional flavour rather than the primary flavour. Hang on a minute, hang on. Let's go and have some more. Yeah, okay, right. It's an okay cup of tea. I'm not going to declare it as a lovely cup of tea. It's got... So, you drink it and you can taste there's cocoa, definitely a cocoa-y taste. And then you get the cinnamon. There's not that much cinnamon. And then, after a short while, after maybe, a second or two that, the tea has actually been in your mouth, you then get that kind of sweet licorice kind of hit. But it is licoricey as well. This isn't my favourite. This is not my favourite tea, I will be honest. The combination of flavours it's a bit all over the shop, I think. It's a bit of a weird one, this one. If you like licorice and you like cinnamon, then absolutely, you'll love this. But this is not one for me, shall we say. I'll drink it, I'll finish it because I can't not finish a cup of tea. But I won't be getting any more of this, shall we say. This is not going to live long in the memory, apart from me going, that was one I didn't like. But there we go. Such is the way of things. We can't like everything, can we? That would be very boring indeed. So here we go. So I'll finish it off. But let's go over to the question, shall we? Let's distract ourselves from the tea and go over to today's question, which comes from Azra Qureshi. Hopefully I've pronounced that correctly. And they say, are you into anything else apart from games, like comics? I have heard Star Trek references dropped in a few videos. So, of course I'm into other things. Video games are a big thing. I like playing video games or computer games, whatever you want to call them. I like them, and they're a big thing. I play them on my own, evidently, for the kind of YouTube thing. I play them with the kids, as we've discussed. Away from that, Star Trek, reference sort of in the question there. Yes, I do like a bit of Star Trek. Next Generation is really good. I've never rewatched the originals. Dad used to watch them. My dad watched them, and that's kind of how I got into Star Trek. I have a very sort of fond memory of Star Trek of when I lived with Mum and Dad when I was younger, every Wednesday evening, I'd come home from school and we would have chili. I don't know why. So a chili con carne. So, chili with, beans in and rice and such like. And we'd have that. And that was the only day that we would be allowed to, me and my dad, would have permission to not sit at the table. Because all the other times we'd eat at the table, which is sensible. You eat at a dining table, that's fine. But Wednesdays, when we had chili, was the only day that we were permitted to leave the table because Star Trek was on. 6 o'clock, BBC 2, Star Trek. We'd go and watch Star Trek. And Next Generation was on, and then Deep Space Nine, which is completely brilliant, that was on. And then Voyager, I love Voyager. Voyager's amazing. That was on, although I think that was on slightly late. That was on possibly at the point where I don't know. I didn't go down. I didn't sort of. That doesn't really ring any bells with the whole sort of sitting in front of the telly watching it. Definitely Next Generation and Deep Space Nine. Maybe Voyager was a tad too late for that. Maybe I was sort of university years with that going on, and I wasn't sort of home all the time for that. But so I do like a bit of Star Trek. Sci-fi generally, I'm a big fan of. So Star Trek, Doctor Who, as we've mentioned previously. Star Wars, I'm okay with Star Wars. I'm not a completely massive fan. As evidenced by the fact I've not seen the final 2 films. I've not seen... I can't remember what they're called. Parts 8 and 9, shall we say. I've not seen those 2. And I've not seen Solo. And I've not seen Rogue One. Or anything like that. So, I'll watch Star Wars. And I like it. It's got lightsabers and pew, 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 lasers and stuff. But I'm okay with it. I wouldn't go out of my way to watch it. I'm not that big a fan. But it's good. I like Star Wars. It's good. So I'm all right with that. The Marvel films, I like those. They're fun. Again, I've not seen all of those. I've not seen them all. But I like them. They're fun. They're good. They do exactly what they're supposed to do for a big Hollywood action film. You can sit and you can eat popcorn and you can stare at them and mad stuff happens and it's all exciting. It looks good on the screen. And then you go away thinking, that was fun. I like that. And then, other sci-fi stuff. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Firefly is brilliant. Terminator, Back to the Future. Went to see that in on the stage recently. It's part of my birthday present with Mrs. Penge. That was very good on stage. It's amazing. Back to the Future. I don't know, Hitchhiker's Guide, Matrix, just sci-fi stuff. Sci-fi stuff in general. I do like sci-fi stuff. Board games. I like playing board games, whether it's Cards Against Humanity or Terraforming Mars, which is completely different, or Dead of Winter, or a littler game like King Domino or something. They're all good games. Cards Against Humanity, that's just raucous, silly fun. I think it's probably aided by the fact that you might have had a drink or two when you play Cards Against Humanity, and it gets a little bit more daft the more drinks you've had, but that's fine. Terraforming Mars is a really good board game. It's very good. I don't own it. I might have to buy it possibly, we've got that. I like that. It's a bit more complicated. Dead of Winter, I only played that a couple of times. That was really good. King Domino, I've got that. That's a nice, fun game to play. Can be played in 20 minutes, half an hour possibly. I like board games. I do like a board game. I like breaking out a board game. And of course, they're more nerdy board games. Obviously, there's ones that we play with the kids as well, as we've discussed, like Scotland Yard and such like. Kind of sports stuff. I do like sports. Formula One. Big Formula One fan. Have been for a long, 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 long time. I didn't watch it sort of around the start of the 2010s. So when Vettel was kind of dominant, I didn't really watch it very much then. I kind of drifted away from it ever so slightly then. Was that the time it moved off of sort of regular television and onto paid for television? It might well have been. So I didn't really watch it for maybe sort of 3-4 years maybe. Sort of through the Sebastian Vettel dominance years. But then I got back into it again. I sort of kept up to date with it, but I didn't really watch it. But now I like it again. And controversial this weekend, but let's not go into that. Football, soccer, whatever you want to call it, but it's football because it's a ball you kick with your foot. So football makes sense. It's not American football, but you don't use your feet on it. Anyway, so football, I think we've sort of might have touched upon it before at some point. So, I am a Leicester City fan because that's where I grew up. I grew up in the city of Leicester, so I support Leicester City, and I like going to the games and watching football and such like. Tea, of course. Do I even need to mention that? Food, I don't know. How far do we go down this? I mean, I do like nice food, but then doesn't everybody? I think everyone likes nice food. I mean, Japanese food. I love bowl of ramen. Bowl of ramen. I had that for my birthday meal when we went out. It was really nice. Like a sort of a spicy seafoody ramen thing. It was beautiful. A proper fry up. Bacon, sausages, fried bread, all that kind of stuff, and plum tomatoes and mushrooms, and I love all that kind of stuff. So a fry up is wonderful. If I'm not drinking tea, a nice beer. I do like a nice beer on occasion. Not a lot. I don't do much in the way of the drinking. I normally drink when I go for an event. I don't casually drink in the evenings very often. But I will drink if I go to see friends or go to a thing or whatever. So I have proper ale type beers. I don't really drink lager. I drink sort of proper ale-y type drinks. So I like those. I mean, ones with silly names normally. Ones with daft names I'll generally drink. So I like that. Books, I do like a good book, although I read a lot less these days. I read significantly less than I used to. So Robert Rankin, who not a lot of people have heard of, but he's really good. You should go and check out his books. He's very, very good. His books are very funny. Robert Rankin, big fan of his. I've got an awful lot of extra stuff of his. So various bits and bobs around the Geek Cupboard are here. So, I've got some of his notebooks that he wrote his ideas in. And I've got like a special kind of picture thing of his that he wrote, which is specifically designed for me and such like. So it's very exciting. I like his stuff. Terry Pratchett, Neil Gaiman, all that kind of stuff. I like sort of those sorts of books. What else? I'm just sort of thinking out loud now. I did have a little list and I've gone through the list. D&D. I like a bit of D&D. I do play D&D. It's getting kind of it's a tricky thing, D&D, because there's a big group of people who play. So there's six players. And is there 6 of us? Yeah, 6 players, and then the dungeon master. And it's quite hard. Now we're all grown-ups with lives and things happening and families and whatever. Although I'm the only one with kids that plays, but it's quite hard to schedule all these things. Quite hard to get everyone together in the same place at the same time because lives happen and people have got stuff to do. But I do play D&D. Like a bit of D&D, which is wonderful. We're playing through the Curse of Strahd at the moment, if anybody knows D&D. So we're playing through that campaign. So that's good fun. I do like D&D. So linked to D&D is sort of Critical Role, I guess. If anyone's heard of Critical Role, they play D&D on Twitch and YouTube, and they're very funny and very engaging and entertaining. So I'll watch a bit of that as well. And I'm sure there's other things. I'm sure there are other things as well. But that's kind of a brief look at things that I might sort of like. I'm sure there are many other things. But there you go. So, are you into anything else apart from games? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the question just say like comics. I'm not overly big on comics. I will read a comic if there's one there, but I wouldn't go out to buy comics specifically. Comics are not something that sort of appeared in my sort of geek zone, if you like. I mean, not because I don't like them. I don't dislike comics. They're just never really a thing that I got into. So comics sort of no, but all those other things, yes, many other things. Some are, a bit geeky, like D&D and all the sci-fi stuff, I suppose. Some are not, like, I don't know, going to the football. That's perceived as slightly less than geeky, more sort of normal. But whatever the case, a mixture of things. But, I am sort of, I do other stuff apart from video games, of course. But there we go. So a little look into what else might be going on, sort of, maybe in and around and far away from the Geek Cupboard. But there we go. So that hopefully answers that question. I'm going to try and finish this tea because I don't want to leave tea behind. I think it's a terrible thing to do. I mean, it might be a struggle. I might have to just not have the bottom because the stuff will have settled at the bottom. That might be quite strong. But I'm going to go through it. I'm determined to find something to love about this tea. The cinnamon. I'll just cling on to the cinnamony goodness and hope that's enough. And yes, we shall finish things up for the moment. So for now, thank you very much for joining me for day 18 of the Fes-tea-ve Advent Countdown 2021. And I will see you next time. Right, if we connect to there and open the door, we're going to get vaporized by this laser. And there's an electronic thing, which looks like a sad kind of Game Boy. I'm a tiny little sort of stick person in a computer. I can't steer the train as such. And look, we are outside and we're in a gutter. Oh, happy days. Hello, Leaf.